All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. You are at the Applied Sensory and Consumer Science Certificate Program information session. I hope that you were able to test your audio with the sound prior, and if you have any trouble hearing me throughout, please do put notes in the Q&A and I'll be able to assist with that. So we very much want this to be your session. While we do plan to provide an overview of the program, I welcome you to ask as many questions as you'd like to make certain you get all of the information you need, and you are welcome to send questions as they come up via the Q&A feature or wait until the end of the information session during the dedicated Q&A time. Regardless of when you ask questions, I will do my very best to answer all questions by the end of this session. So first off, I'd like to introduce your support team. I am Christy Craig. I am your enrollment coach. I am here to help you answer any questions that you have about the program, as well as the application process and enrollment all the way through. Now, once you have an approved application and you're enrolled in your courses, that's when Heather Ogle is here to assist you. She is the program manager, and she will help you throughout the journey through completion of your certificate. So please feel free to reach out to me directly or simply schedule an appointment. I'll be available for you at your convenience to discuss any additional questions that you may have after the information session. In fact, I am going to go ahead and drop a link to my Calendly calendar in the chat now. So that way, if you do have questions after the information session, you can absolutely reach out to me and we can connect and go through that with you. Okay, perfect. So my information is in the chat and we'll go ahead and move forward. All right. So here's a look at our agenda for this session. I'm going to briefly discuss the history of the program, the logistics of working within our program, and the financing options. We're also going to hear from our program instructors through video on course descriptions and program insights. At the end, I'll be opening a Q&A section to answer any additional questions that you may have. So again, feel free to type your questions as we move through the slideshow, and using the Q&A is the best way to do so. So I will be able to answer any questions that you have throughout the presentation and then again at the end. So let's go ahead and get started with the history of our program. Our program began in the year 2000. The co-creators of this program are your current instructors. The focus was to offer accessibility to the working professional from anywhere in the world, and that's how our online version was created. We are very thankful to have been able to reach over 25 countries throughout the world and 23 different states within the US. October begins our 22nd program cycle, and we hope to offer many more in coming years. We'll now hear a brief video from our wonderful instructors about the courses they teach within this program. There it goes.
Hi, welcome to the Applied Sensory and Consumer Science Certificate Program from UC Davis Extension. I am Becky Blybaum. I teach courses 1 and 4, and I also am Chief Sensory Officer at Tragon Corporation in the San Francisco Bay Area.
My name is Jean-Xavier Guinard. I'm a professor of sensory science at the University of California, Davis. I will be teaching courses 2 and 3.
When we started the program, there was really nothing like this that existed. And we got together, we all have a passion for sensory science and teaching. And JX is a professor on campus. And I actually work for, at a business in San Francisco, and we apply these methods on a regular basis. So everything we've learned from applications from a business perspective, we've tried to put into this course, from product development issues, from quality control issues, from just looking at products out in the marketplace and what they represent, and also ad claim substantiation.
This was truly breakthrough innovation at the time, And we're very glad that we took the lead on this initiative and that it's become such a successful one today.
We really intended to have 25 students per year. We thought that would be a great goal, and we'd do this for several years. And it's turned out over the years, we've had consistently over 50 students per cohort. We've graduated over 750 students and from 35 countries around the world.
All right. So we'll go ahead and familiarize you a little bit with our website, and then we'll go into a little deeper dive with the coursework. So this screen here, this is where you would begin your journey. You're going to be able to jump to this button and complete your application online. We'll run it through the process and we'll set you up for joining this current cohort. There is still room available in the upcoming cohort, and there is no cost to apply. And it does secure you a position in the next cycle that begins October 2nd by enrolling in the first course. So I will go ahead and punch in that chat the link to the application and the start date for the cohort. All right, so you can find that there and follow along if you would like. All right, so getting started in this, you look at the prerequisites for the program. You must have completed a college level statistics course in order to start these courses. Statistics is a very large component of courses 2 and 3, and you'll need to have a good grasp of how to use it. We will have chosen a statistical program R that you will use during the course of this program. If you don't meet the requirement of the statistics course, there is still time for you to complete that. There are online accredited colleges. You can see the Saylor, Coursera, Straighterline that would allow you to be able to complete these self-paced courses with a very rigorous completion, so that way you could start the program. You can apply for the program without having statistics in your background. However, you will need to submit a transcript verifying that you have successfully completed that stats course with a grade of C or higher in order for admittance. So if you don't meet this requirement, we can accept you as long as you complete it, as long as you indicate on your application that you will fulfill the requirement by the start of the program. So know that that is an option for you, and there is still time to complete that. So the Applied Sensory and Consumer Science Certificate program is sequential. So each course builds on the next, and you must successfully complete all 4 courses of the program to earn your certificate. These are the 4 courses in order. Now let's take a deeper dive into the subject matter of these 4 courses with a short video from the instructors.
So this program is truly unique because you start with the foundations of sensory science and understanding the basics behind the methodologies that we're going to use. You then apply that to sensory evaluation of products. Then you go into consumer testing for those products and services. And then in the last course, you wrap everything up by applying everything you've learned into designing better products and services.
There's a lot to this science, right? So we want to understand the foundations, and then sensory methods, consumer methods, and applications. And
so it's a very complex subject matter, and it needs to be approached scientifically, which is something a lot of people don't realize. And I think that's the main contribution that we've made is, and the people before us, like Rosemary Pangborn, really turned this into a scientific field, which involves a lot of psychology, statistics, psychophysics, physiology. So it's really a very complex group of disciplines put together to better understand the sensory properties of foods and other consumer products, as well as the consumer needs and how we meet those needs by designing better products.
So the first course that we teach is the foundations of sensory science, and it starts out with the physiology and some anatomy and how the sensory system works, and we get into psychophysics and measurement, and some scale use, not as much as in later courses, but it's really an introduction and lays a foundation for the program.
So in the second course, we talk about sensory evaluation methods, which is a very broad term to describe all the analytical methods we use to understand the sensory properties of consumer products. And we spend a lot of time on difference testing or discrimination testing or similarity testing. And then we go into descriptive analysis methods. In addition to covering those two broad sets of methods, we also cover statistics, both univariate and multivariate statistics. And we have you do a lot of those. And so many of the assignments, we will have you become top-notch statisticians. Look forward to that.
Yeah, they're happy when they get to course 4.
So in the third course, we talk about consumer testing methodologies. That's the time when we focus on how do we determine consumer needs and interests, and how do we design products to maximize the acceptance of those products. So we still do a lot of coverage of different methodologies. We spend a lot of time on statistics as well. We build on what we learned in the second course, and we do things like preference mapping, which are multivariate statistical applications to consumer data.
All right. So here you have a look at the schedule for the upcoming 2023-2024 cohort. This is an annual fall start program that's completed in 12 months and is currently accepting applications until filled. So our cohort has a maximum student count of 60. We have already received more applications than available spots. However, enrollment is on a first come, first served basis. So you still have an opportunity to guarantee your seat. It is all about who enrolls in the course first. So once the last spot is taken, applicants who have not yet enrolled but have approved applications will be placed on the wait list. So as you can see, the courses are offered pay as you go for your convenience or your employers if they are the ones sponsoring you, or you are welcome to pay for the entire program upfront. That's completely up to you. You do earn 16 academic units that are available with this coursework and are transferable based on the accepting degree program. Also, upon successful completion of all 4 courses, you will earn a certificate in applied sensory and consumer science from UC Davis CPE. So I would encourage you that if you are interested in taking part in the upcoming cohort, that you do submit an application right away. We have around a 2 to 3 business day turn time on those applications for review. And then it would be a matter of submitting your registration no later than the date of September 4th. So payment is due for the first course by September 4th, and the first class begins on October 2nd. Looks like we have our first question here. They took stats about 10 years ago. Do they need to retake this class? Absolutely not. So academic units do not expire. You are more than welcome to apply with your transcript from 10 years ago. That's absolutely fine, as long as you received a grade of C or higher. You will need to apply with an unofficial transcript. So the best start would be to start achieving access to that, whether it be through the website Parchment, or you go through your actual college that you obtain the coursework. Great question, thank you. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the next slide here. And we'll talk about the logistics of the program. So it is a fully asynchronous program, but it is module based, not self-paced. So a lot of people confuse self-paced with asynchronous. It is not a self-paced. So that means that there are no set class times, but you will be released an entire week's worth of text, assignments, lectures to review by the end of the week. So it keeps everyone on track and on pace week by week. There will be live open office hours with your instructors and classmates that we encourage you to attend for live discussion on weekly topics and test prep. However, they are fully optional. And if the time of day or the scheduling doesn't work for you, that's absolutely fine. They are recorded. So we would encourage you to review those so you will not miss any of the content. We recommend 7 to 12 hours per week commitment to success, so that way you can meet your deadlines. Each of the courses are anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks long. So of the 4 classes, you will have breaks between each of the classes. As you could refer back to that schedule, you do have breaks between. So it's definitely not a full 12 months every week in and out. So moving forward, let's go ahead and hear from our instructors one last time about the community that you'll build.
So the way the program works is for each of the courses, you're going to have 10 lessons, which are going to be put online every week. And then you're going to go over those materials, and then you're going to post some questions and answer some questions from your peers or from us on the forum. And then at the end of each lesson, or after 2 lessons, you'll be asked to take a quiz. And then at the end of the course, you take a final exam. And then throughout the course, you have a number of assignments, and you have to complete those assignments, the quizzes, and the final exam to get your final grade.
Yeah, most of the learning, what we've heard from students is that the value that they get out of the course is one thing to read the materials, do the homework assignments, and participate in the class. But most of the learning really comes from the discussion boards and the dialogues you have with each other. We learn a tremendous amount from students and the issues you're dealing with, and you learn from each other, from students around the world. So definitely the discussion board is a big part of this program.
So Becky, what's your favorite part of the program?
It's hard to pick one, but I have a lot of favorite parts. And I think the global nature of our student population and what we learned from everybody around the world, a lot of companies, a lot of these multinational companies are testing in every part of the world now. And it's really interesting to understand behavior and have students in those programs, and they talk to each other, and we learn a lot from them.
For me, it's really the interaction that takes place among the participants in the course. There is the forum. There is an opportunity for them to ask us some questions, but to ask each other questions and raise issues. And in the end, I think we learn just as much from them as they learn from us. Another very cool part is that we work with top-notch professionals. So the way the materials are put together, the way they're delivered, I think we're up on the latest technology, and we take advantage of it. And we're just extremely grateful to be part of such a program.
Right, and the program's evolved over the years. I mean, you think about where technology was when we started the program versus where it is today, and it keeps evolving. And this team stays on top of it. They're always kind of pushing us to the next level. So it's fantastic to have their support. In sensory, it's a small world, really. And like I said, we have about 750 graduates, and a lot of those graduates do attend these conferences, global conferences, the Pangborn Symposium, Eurosense, any other conferences in sensory. So we have had luncheons. We try to get together with students at those luncheons, but you should also connect with your fellow colleagues if they're going to be there, and meet them in person. That's a really nice combination of the online learning and then the in-person experience.
Yeah, you're going to become part of a very special and select group of professionals.
All right. So as you heard, we encourage you to be as active in the course forums as possible. This will allow you to meet a great new networking resource through your fellow classmates in this wonderful niche community. So now let's switch gears and cover your course access through our learning platforms. UC Davis CPE uses 2 separate systems that communicate to bring you the content of the program, as well as the business and education, such as your grades and receipts, invoices, things along those lines. So when you are looking at this portal, this is going to be the upper right-hand corner here. That is your drop down for sign in for both your student account and your online class. So the student account, this is our first system, and this is where all of your student account information is going to be located. You can locate it through our main homepage, which is cpe.ucdavis.edu. This is where you'll be able to complete your application to the program. I did also provide you a direct link in the chat. You'll be able to pay your invoices, find your receipts and your grades. And all of your billing information is located here, and our student services department can assist in these areas as well. But you'll click on your student account, enter your login ID and password, and these items will be created when you complete your online application. So you'll be given your student ID number, and you'll be ready to start the process of accessing your student account. So please do take note of your login ID and password. You will use this multiple times through the program. Once your application has been accepted and your class begins, you'll be directed to this other site for course access. So this is our online classroom, also known as Canvas. You can access the classroom approximately 24 hours prior to the start of each course date. There are 2 places you can find entrance to this portal. However, that drop down truly is the easiest and direct access to the portal. So let's see here. It looks like we do have a couple questions. So before we jump into the course materials, let's see if I can answer those for you. So applied in June. Okay. If after completion of the certificate, you want to continue to pursue a master's through UC Davis, do you have to reapply, or does the program also segue into the master's? So you would need to apply to the main campus should you choose to pursue a graduate degree. The continuing professional education houses our certificates. The main campus houses the master's program. So our application process is very straightforward. It's also free, and it only requires an unofficial transcript and creating a basic student account, notating that you have completed all requirements. The graduate studies process is far more extensive, and you would need to work with them directly. However, the program does have transferable units, so you would be able to access the transcript and GPA that you would receive through our program to verify those transferable units. And I do have another question here about a particular application. I will go ahead and make note. Any personal account information, please reach out to me directly, and I will be happy to look into different student accounts, but I don't want to verify someone's personal information on a public forum. So I will go ahead and answer that one privately. Thank you. All right, so when it comes to the course materials, they will be published and distributed directly through the forum. So you will have that within your program. Each course pack is designed specifically for your class. So the course pack includes all of the required reading materials, and they will all be in one place. The journal articles, the essays, the case studies, etc. Everything will be referenced and used throughout the class, but you'll be able to purchase them in both print or digital formats. If you do the digital, it will be built right into your platform. All right. So our next question that always arises is, how do I finance my education? So financing is completed through Suzette Odom. She is our financial advisor. And if you would like to discuss any financing options, she is your best resource. Courses are pay as you go, or you can pay fully up front. The option is yours. Unfortunately, we currently do not offer any international lending options. I know this is often a question that comes up, and unfortunately, we do not have that offering at this time. However, I will drop a link in the chat that will bring you to our financing page so you can explore which options may work for you. Go ahead and drop that in the chat for you now. All right. So the financing link is there. As you can see, we have student loans available. Also, the program is VA benefits approved. And of course, we offer facilitation of financing through tuition reimbursement programs with your employer. So please do reach out to us if that is something that your employer would like to sponsor you for, we would be happy to facilitate that invoicing. All right, so that concludes our portion of the session, but now is the time for your portion. So please utilize the Q&A feature and I will do my best to answer any and all of your questions. I'm also going to launch a poll. If you would please take a few seconds to complete that. I appreciate your feedback on this session. All right, so that poll is up and live, and it looks like we're starting to get a few questions in. All right, is there a promotion if you do the full payment up front? There is not. So you are welcome to pay as you go, or you can pay fully up front. If you pay fully up front, it just eases the requirement of you needing to sign in every quarter and have that payment. However, we do offer a group discount. So if you are looking to have 3 or more from your organization attend this program, as long as we register you all at the same time, you receive 10% off your total tuition. So grab a few coworkers and join the cohort, and you'll receive 10% off the tuition there. Let's see, the next question. Are the transferable units valid for master's programs other than UC Davis? Absolutely. So the units are academic accreditation. So any accepting university or state college, any university that is looking to accept those in towards their degree, they are transferable. It truly is up to the accepting university to what courses and what units transfer. If you're, of course, taking a sensory unit and trying to transfer that into public health, that's probably not going to transfer accurately. So it really is up to the accepting program to distinguish how those units will transfer. All right, what other questions do we have? See, people are filtering in with the poll. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Give it another second or two to see if any additional questions come up, and then go ahead and close that poll. Thank you. I appreciate your feedback. All right, well, it doesn't look like any additional questions are coming through. Please feel free to reach out to me. I am more than happy to help you. My email is here. You also have my Calendly link in the chat. I am more than happy to answer any questions for you. And I do encourage you to submit an application sooner than later. We are reaching deadline for registration in just over 2 weeks now. So I don't want anyone missing a seat. Again, this cohort is only offered once a year. So if this isn't the right time for you, we will be offering again in fall for the 2024-2025 cohort. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'll keep an eye out for your applications and work on a very quick turn time for those. And then please email me if you do need anything else. Let's see here. We have another question here. Yes, the information session that you attended today will be sent out to you tomorrow afternoon for you to review and share. And again, if you need anything additionally, please do reach out to me. I'm happy to provide you with copies of the schedule or any additional contact information, fact sheets that your employer might request. That way they can have that for tuition reimbursement. Great question. Thank you very much. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate it. Have a great day.